Food unites all of us. I'm going out there to find the people and places where our food stories still exist and bring them back to the table. I'm Chad Breeley, and this is Salt, Fresh and Field. Deciding to hunt with a bow is a decision to be deliberate, to be intimate. It is the equipment that defines the activity, but it is the intimacy with the environment and the quarry that is central. It is simple enough to learn how to nock an arrow and release it toward a target. It takes dedication to become proficient and clear devotion to become an expert. At this stage of my bow hunting skill, I'm comfortable shooting accurately up to 40 yards. Anything beyond that, and I'm simply not confident yet that the arrow will end up on target. The general target area on a deer is quite large, but so is the margin for error. A 2 centimeter difference in how the arrow leaves the bow is expanded dramatically as it flies 38 yards through the bush. Shooting a deer with a rifle at 500 yards is a technical skill, but it doesn't provide nor require the intimacy of meeting a deer at 10 yards. While I could take it upon myself to figure out all the elements and nuances of shooting a bow, I feel it's far better to look for a mentor or two. I found Leon Meyer and his son, Logan. They tune their skills every season using 3D targets placed in the settings they will actually be hunting. It's critical to understand target distances, different shooting positions, and personal fitness before trying to stalk a whitetail to within range.
I found hunting to be not really boring, but not challenging with a rifle. So I had an opportunity to get a bow, and it got put in my hands. And once I got it, I just knew that that's what I wanted to play with. I got introduced to 3D archery from a buddy of mine. And I remember the first tournament I went to, it wasn't really a tournament, it was just a local shoot. And I went there with my hunting rig and 6 arrows, and I shot arrows until I had none left. They were all laying in the bush, and I had to go home because I couldn't shoot any more arrows. And I knew from that minute on that I wanted to get into archery.
Leon's passion for archery has been matched by Logan, and his pride in his son's skill is obvious.
Patience is one of the biggest ones. I guess you go through more missed opportunities than connective opportunities, and you got to have that patience to keep going back and wait for that
Dedication
moment.
to practice.
Yeah.
You have to practice. It's a very physical sport. You need that muscle memory, and if you quit practicing, it falls off quite quickly. So it's just the dedication of practice.
Yeah, wherever it's comfortable for your finger. You shouldn't be reaching out so it's right at the tip.
Your toes on it, square shoulders, everything lines up towards the target. You could open your stance just a little bit depending on what feels more comfortable.
Wait, a little forward?
Weight even.
So what I do is draw back, and then your string comes to your face, and you look through the peep sight on your string, and you line it up with the scope and your pins. And from there, you just settle it on the target and shoot whenever you're ready.
That's way low.
The arrow flies 320 feet per second out of our bows.
My bow is 60 pounds to pull back, but it ranges from 5 to 100.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this is natural progression here.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
First one, second one, third one.
Yeah. When you're drawing, all your muscles are tense, and when you get that bow back, then it releases a little bit. It's a little less pressure to hold. And then you anchor, and then relax and settle, and I'll squeeze on the trigger until it blows off. Same thing though, just aim small. Aim for that little spot.
Dead center, 40.
Yep.
Okay.
Very nice. Oh, crushed it.
I'm better at 40.
Of course, Logan's the only one in the super kill,
Right.
but for hunting purposes, that's a pretty deadly
totally
group.
happy with that.
Yeah.
With the confidence instilled by strong advice and repetition, it is time to take the newfound skill to the mountains. And in BC, there are few people more dedicated to finding animals in high and remote places than Adam Yonke. He is the founder and editor-in-chief of the Journal of Mountain Hunting. The journal is a digital homage to long-form sporting editorials and solely devoted to every angle and nuance of hunting in some of the most physically daunting places on Earth.
I've had a long-standing relationship with bow hunting. I started bow hunting very, very young. My cousin that became my mentor really got me into bow hunting. So I started doing that when I was, 15, 16.
Mike Peterson co-founded the Rookie Hunter podcast. Based in the Okanagan, the podcast presents a new angle in outdoor media. They admit to not being experts of anything. This refreshing take has garnered them some strong praise from newcomers and traditionalists alike.
A lot of people are coming to hunting because it's the connection to their food. So there's the whole organic movement where people are just very interested in where their food comes from. Lots of people don't want to support factory farming and that type of thing. And I think, it's just one more thing that allows you to connect to the food that you eat.
While I am not joining Adam and Mike on a high-altitude hunt in the Rockies, we are climbing the hills of the North Okanagan, trying to get into range of the notoriously skittish white-tailed deer.
One of the big differences between, say, bow hunting and rifle hunting is you're often trying to ambush the animal, right? As opposed to with a rifle, yes, you can sit, but you could be walking around and see an animal and just pull up your gun and shoot it, right? But with bow hunting, that's not really the typical scenario. The wind has to be in your favor. You got to be darned quiet. We're going to be anywhere from 40 to inside of 10 yards, right? So you have to be pretty much stock still until you get ready to take that shot. Yeah, just the nature of bow hunting is your opportunities are often fewer, and then a lot more things have to go right. The deer have to give us an opportunity, right? They've got to come within range of where we sit, and so where we are for this hunt is reasonably open country. It's a bit of a roll of the dice that we're going to get set up exactly where we need to be, because they could pop out just about anywhere.
We start to see deer, but mule deer, not whitetails. We could take a mule deer buck at this time of year, but we're not allowed to take a doe. Wind direction, scent, noise underfoot, alarm calls from unseen animals. Everything conspires against the success of a bow hunter. Attention span is an insidious adversary to success.
Not perfect, but so be it. It's better than not being here. This is true. This is very true.
It's a fast-paced world that we live in now, with constant information coming at you from different sources and that. So to get out into the wilderness is sort of like a reset button for me. Everything slows down. Time doesn't really feel the same to me. It sort of just doesn't really exist when you're out there. And you're just very much focused on that moment that you're in, and nothing else really matters when you're out in the bush by yourself.
That's new. That's today.
Hours can go by with nothing moving, nothing happening. Doubt creeps in. At this point, you are no longer hunting. You are merely hoping, relying entirely on chance. Early in the day, there's hope. As the day wears on, this hope is replaced with questions, with doubt. With all the gear and skill that it takes to be successful, the one thing we really need is patience. With patience comes chance. It's all we really can rely on. More mule deer does. Eventually, the need to move takes over, and we split apart to cover territory on the side of the hills, and I start to climb.
Why do I love hunting? It's the purest version of being a human for me. Like it's everything I can be, I have to be to be successful as a hunter, right? And so, from the standpoint of the mental challenge, the physical challenge, it takes everything. It triggers some things that we don't get in normal day-to-day life, right? And I grew up with it, obviously, but above and beyond that, it's just, it's hard to put into words.
And on some days, the pieces of chance don't come together. We don't draw our bows today. The deer are there, there is fresh sign, but we don't see them. We retreat down the valley to build a fire. We gather wood and make a stone fire ring. The stars come as the fire starts, and we cook venison from a hunt earlier in the year.
Happening today. Well, I mean, from me to you.
We assure each other that it just wasn't our day, and perhaps the next time we climb a hill together with bows in hand, it just might be.